About to start. Okay, good day everyone that has joined. And hopefully everyone can hear me. Some of you, I still see it says connecting to audio.
Hi, Mr. Ray.
Okay, good day. Is it Jacob?
Yes, sir.
All right, great. How you doing, Jacob?
I'm doing well.
That's
And
good.
yourself?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
That's awesome.
Ray.
And good day, is that Maceo?
Yeah.
Yes, good day. How you doing, Maceo?
Good. Yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you. All right, and I see others have joined, so I'll just say, as I see your names, Marisol, good to see you again, Marisol. Carlos, good day, Carlos, how you doing? Daniel?
How you doing, Mr. Ray?
I'm doing well, thank you. And Ray?
We're here.
Yes, great, how are you doing as well?
Good, thank you.
Lewis family, I'm guessing that's your last name, right? Okay, you may not hear me yet.
Hello, Mr. Ray.
Yes, good day, is that William?
Yeah, it's William.
Yes, good day, William, how are you doing?
Good yourself?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Good.
All right, and I see there Norma and Clement and Neely.
Nelly, yes, I'm here.
Nelly, okay, good
Yeah.
day, Nelly.
Hi.
And I see also here Gold. I see that's the name that you have.
Yeah, and this is Dorcas.
Oh, Dorcas, yes. How you doing? Yeah, and that's the other thing. If you guys, I don't know if you know how to, but if you can put your legal name, that really helps with attendance. Just to update you, Zoom used to have the option where all the names are popped up. I can print them, I can get them afterwards. Now they don't do that. Something about a security feature. So I actually have to literally write down your names so that once I take the attendance, that I know exactly who is here. So if you can make sure that your name matches the name that will be on the roster, because that's how I will take your attendance. I simply write down the names of everyone that is in here as they come in. And so if your name says iPad, of course, I can give you that you were present, because I will know who iPad is. So also make sure if you go by your middle name, that you at least have your last name or your first name in there as well, as most times in the rosters, you don't see your middle name sometimes, and sometimes I have students whose middle names don't appear. So let's say it was Kyle, and I go in there looking for Kyle, and there's no Kyle on my roster. So just make sure that the name that you have for your Zoom matches what would be on the roster. So just one more time, Gold, you said your name was?
Dorcas, D-O-R-C-A-S.
D-O-R-C-A-S. And is it Clement?
Clemente.
Clemente. Okay, just making sure. And it was, okay, iPad. I'm gonna send you a message. I'm not sure if you know who I'm talking about.
Here, wait, hold up. I want to show Elizabeth.
But if you see, I see you nodding your head. So if you can let me know what your name is, you can either unmute your mic or you could just send it to me in the chat.
Can you hear me now? You hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, I'm Pastrano, Gennaro.
Okay. Oh, okay, Gennaro, I remember talking with you.
Yeah.
All right, and Lewis family. I'm assuming your last name is Lewis, if you can hear me. And Guadalupe Jimenez.
Hello, I'm here.
And that's Erica, right? All right, we have Erica, who just spoke. All right, I said William. Susanna, welcome, Susanna.
Hi,
Good day. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are
That's
you?
great. I'm doing well, thank you. All right, and I also have, he's not connected yet, but Salvador. Welcome, Salvador. Guzman. And I have a Justine Moreno.
Yes, here.
Yes, okay, welcome. All right, let me just make sure I did get everyone's name.
Hello.
Good day, Salvador, that's you just spoke?
Yes.
Yes, great. How are you doing?
Good.
That's good. All right, and it's good to have each one of you guys. Once again, my name is Mr. Ray, as you more than likely saw on your registration card that they give you. I have a few more people coming in, so just bear with me as I get everyone's name down, and I will be checking just to make sure afterwards. All right, Johnny's iPad. I remember talking with you, Johnny, so I got you as well. Veronica, good day, Veronica.
Oliva.
Say that again?
Veronica Oliva.
Okay, Veronica Oliva, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
And did I leave anyone out?
right? Okay, cool.
Maria, good day, Maria.
Hello. Maria Massa?
Okay, yes, thank you, Maria. And who is this? Daniel. Looks like you don't hear me yet.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me. All right, perfect.
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to interrupt everybody.
Okay, on my side, it says that you're still connecting your audio, so I'm glad you can hear me. All right, that looks like I do have everyone. I'm just going to do a double check. I have 21.
And then for me, Nelly is my second name. Do you want my first name?
Yes, just to be on the safe side.
Okay, it's Leonor, Leonore.
O-N-O-R-E. Thank you,
Leonor, yeah.
Leonore. Okay, and looks like somebody got kicked out already. Not sure who that was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, yeah, I'm missing 2 people. Somehow they got kicked out. All right, so welcome again. More than likely, you're going to have more people coming. You're going to see me sometimes distracted, and that distraction is just to make sure everyone has gotten in. Many times, you have people writing to say they still have not been able to sign in, and so normally I'm just checking to make sure that there's no one trying to get in and cannot. So I'm just going to do that real fast. Some of you guys, you got my email about joining the Remind app. I'm going to go over that some more. So I will touch on that some more as we progress in the class, just making sure that no one else has written me between that time frame. Okay, so let me just do that. All right, so I'm not sure how many of you guys have actually, okay, they got back in. How many of you guys have actually done an online class? Just show of hands if you have your camera on. If you have done an online course before, looks like it's just 1. All right, 2. All right, about 2 people. All right, so it's gonna be a little bit different at first, but I assure you after a while it'll get pretty comfortable if you're not used to it. Now, one thing that you definitely need is a notebook. So everyone has a notebook, right? Pen and paper?
Yes. Yes.
All right. The other thing is
Yes.
you are, in a sense, preparing for the GED. So this is the Math Foundations course. And it's definitely a build up so that you can eventually take the GED. Now, some people will want to take it earlier. That's fine. But one other thing that I do, and I possibly will be implementing soon, is the use of a calculator. Now, it's a specific type of calculator. We don't need it yet, but I will give you more information about that as time goes. Because right now, we want to really build on our skills, our arithmetic skills. Now, does everyone have a textbook, the book? Did you get one from the school, or do you have your own?
Yeah.
Yes.
I believe they gave you 2 books, correct? They gave you 2 books, one that says student book and one, okay, I see it, Maceo.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna touch on those as well real soon, but before I do all that, what I do want to do is introduce you to the website. I want to knock all that out first. And then once we get into the books, we go right into the lesson. And I do want to optimize our time. So let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen real briefly. So sometimes when I share my screen, I will not be able to see you because it shrinks everything down and I can only see certain people at a time. So if you're trying to get my attention and I'm not responding, it's more than likely because I can't see on the screen. I have to scroll through. So every so often I scroll through to see if someone has their hand up. Now, the way that you can get my attention, you can turn on your mic and call me. If you look at the bottom of your screen, depends on how you set it up. It might be on the top of your screen or the bottom, but if you hover at the bottom or the top, you should see a menu pop up. And you should see stuff like chat, pause recording, reactions, mute your video, etc. I'm just going to send a message in the chat for those who might not have used it before. And you shall see, okay, I have somebody writing me already. So hold on real fast. I need to send that link out once I do that. But I'm just going to say hello. And you should see either on the bottom or on the top. If you take your cursor and hover over it, you should see a message from me saying hello. Now that's where you could get my attention as well. If you notice that I do not see you, you can write in the chat. It's going to light up on my side. You can write it to just me or to everyone. There's a little drop down tab. If you click that tab, you're going to see a list of people you can send stuff to. I think I turned it off for everyone. I can't remember. I don't really care if you do message between each other, but I can see if you message other people. Just keep that in mind. So if you're like, hey, Mr. Ray sounds crazy today, or he looks crazy, I'll see that. So just keep that in mind. Don't say anything funny about it. All right, so that's how you can do that. There's also some other options there. You might see something called reactions. Do you see that? With the reactions, you could put a thumbs up button and like a hand clap. With that, you can also communicate with me as well. And there's also something, I forget where it's located because I'm on the teacher side, but on your student side, there's an option to raise your hand. And I just don't remember where that's located. So if you remember where that's located, you can use that option as well. And it's a notification. So it pops up that whoever done it has their hand up. So you could test that out on the chat. You could write something. Hello, my name is, I like math, I hate math. Just play around with it real fast. I just need to send the invitation to someone. They just sent me an email saying that they still don't have it. So I'm gonna just do that really fast and just play around with it. Raise your hand, send a chat, etc. while I do that and send back a message. Okay, so never mind, this is a different message. Johnny, I see you sent me a message about your microphone. So when you log on, there's a little option that says join with computer audio or phone audio, whatever you've done. So Lewis, if you see that, Lewis family, you should see that option. You might need to minimize your screen. Sometimes it gets put behind the screen, but that's what you need to do. If you don't see that, the same place where you see the chat option, you should see a mute button. If you click that, it looks like a little microphone. If you click the microphone, you can set your settings. You can see if your speakers are turned on. And once you do that, I should be able to hear you, Johnny. So try that out. Look for the microphone or look for the tab that says join with computer audio.
Okay, how about now?
Okay, I hear you. Great.
Okay.
All right. Okay, and then now I think that's everyone. I think I just let someone else in. And I think it's just somebody who got kicked out. Yeah, it looks like it's the same group. All right, so now that you know how to use that, hopefully, if you don't, just, wave your hands now while I see you. Just say, I'm having some trouble using that. Everyone knows how to use the Zoom. I did a quick orientation on that, but if you don't, just raise your hand. Say, you know what, I didn't quite get that. All right, Veronica? Okay, Gary, you got it.
It's my first time that I use Zoom.
Okay, so it's your first time?
Yes.
All right, so that's the basic gist. So how it works is that link that I sent out, that's the same link that you use every single time.
Okay.
If you lose the link, you can just, I'm gonna go over how to use Remind, but you just send me a message and just say, you know what, I don't have the link. And I'm totally fine with that. If you have lost the link, don't feel like, oh man, I've asked them already 3 times. That's not gonna bother me. I want you to be in the class, so if you lose the link, send me a message towards the middle of the class, I'm gonna go over in an application. It's like a social media application called Remind, and that's the easiest way to communicate. I may not use Microsoft Teams. I try to limit the amount of stuff. So if you do use Teams, I generally just use the platforms. There's not a lot of transitions between different platforms. All right, so I see you guys are testing out the chat messages. All right, so now the next thing that I want to introduce you to is our school website. Now, some of you might have had this already. You might have gone through and practiced that. And Johnny Lewis, I see that your screen's on. I have two Johnnies, so it looks like everything's working.
Yeah, it's working good.
Okay, perfect. All right, and where was I? So I'm gonna share my screen to show you what our website is. How many of you guys have been on the Fontana Adult School website? Show of hands.
I have.
All right, so there's a few of you, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, majority not. All right, so what I'm gonna do is show you that. I'm gonna share my screen. I have so much stuff open, so just bear with me a second. And here we go. All right, so, oh, that's not the right website. Hold on real fast, I need to stop sharing that. That was an email from the principal, but it's the wrong website. So I'm just going to actually go there myself and bring that up. And then I'll share it. There's a slight misspelling there. Okay, so here we go. Let me share the screen one more time. All right, so you should see my Google website now. Everybody sees that?
Yeah.
All right, so what you're gonna type in if you wanna get to the school website is www.FUSD, that represents Fontana Unified School District, .net, so you hit a dot and then NET. I'll send it to everyone after it's, and then a backslash adult, ADULTCHOOL. And once you do that, it takes you to the Fontana Adult School website. All right, so this is the website. The school would desire that everyone has that. So I'm just gonna copy this and I'm gonna send it into the chat. That way you have access to it. There's a lot of great resources on here. And just hold on real fast. Thing just disappeared. All right, here we go. You're gonna see it pop up in the chat and you can always save that. You can write it down, etc. Okay, so that's the website. You can copy that down, however format you want to do that. www.fusd.net/adult school. All right, so once you get there, what you're gonna see is a lot of different things. You can take your time and peruse through it. We're not gonna go through every aspect of this, but you can see all the different updates that pop up. They have videos, they do a lot of celebrations for students. If you pass all of your GED exams, they put that up there. If you pass any GED exam, they'll put that up there. You might see some people you know. You can play the videos. You might even see yourself. Sometimes they come around and took pictures. So if you were in school before COVID-19, it's very possible that you could be in one of these pictures. All right, so it has a lot of information. A question? Somebody asked me if not, what I'm gonna do is just mute everyone real fast. Okay, just to let you know, I muted everyone. Sometimes your mic's on and your family member might come in and start talking to you. So what I normally do, I'll mute everyone, and when you're ready to speak, if you look at top of your screen, you should see a mute or unmute button. You just click that, or you could click it down at the bottom of the screen, and you see the mute button. Most times if you start talking, the Zoom is gonna pick up that you're talking, and it's gonna tell you to click unmute. So just right now, just know that you are muted. That way I don't pick up anyone's conversation. And just in case it's something intimate or something that you don't want other people hear, I could just shut that off. All right, at the bottom of the screen here, you see the school information. So if you have that website down, you can always, if you forgot the number or the school address, you're doing a resume and they're asking for the school address, you can find it right here on the website. So you can have a good bit of information there. At the very top of the website, this is what we really want to focus on, is this part here called For Students. And like I said, you could take the time out to peruse the site a bit more. such as forums, the different programs they offer, the classes, community partnerships, right? Faculty and staff, administration, you can learn all that, even the calendar, what's happening around the school. But the really important thing we want to look at tonight is this tab here, for students. That is for you and has a lot of information that will benefit you. So we click that, and what you see here is a lot of different resources. All right, so if you look here on the left where it says for students, that's where I want to draw your attention. You see here resources for high school diploma students, and I have someone who just came in. Let me just get their name in a moment. Good day, Adriana. Not sure if you can hear me yet. All right, wait a bit. All right, resources for high school diploma students is not for you. That's for continuing students who are 18, 19 years old. So everything else, this is mainly for you guys here. All right, and so what you see there is information for English learners. So if you're ESL student, English learner student, you can click on that and find resources. HSE students, that's the transition between the EL and the HSE program. So between these two, that's more likely where you can find information. Resources for all students, of course, that's everybody. And then you even have job sources. So if you're looking for a job, the school does get a lot of information from different hiring places, and they put it there. So if I click that for you, you see different places that are hiring. And so you see here, Dollar Tree, Driver, Ross, etc., right? And so you could click on any of those and apply. Remember, the school does give information on how to do resumes and whatnot. So if you need assistance with that, you can always get that as well. If you click on resources for HSE students, shows you how you can get onto the GED website if you want to purchase an account or create an account rather. And then from there, you can purchase practice exams and stuff as well. Sometimes the school sponsors you with a practice exam if you're interested in that. All right, so that has information there for HSE students. If you're an EL only student, then here what you see is information about how to access different things such as Canvas, even has information on Chaffey College, right? Different stuff, Mr. Baker, I don't know if you guys know Mr. Baker, but he teaches math and language arts. I teach math and social studies, but he put in here a little video about pronouncing long vowels and short vowels, and has other information like that as well. And then this one here, the last one we want to look at, is the resources for all students. Now this one is a real important one, and I saved that one for last. I can get that pen. So remember, resources for all students. This one has the information on how to access Microsoft Teams. So someone had sent me an email about that. Sometimes, well, what they had done, they have reset everyone's password. So if you're having trouble, you have to get the reset. But you can watch a video on there and show you how to utilize Microsoft Teams. We're living in 2020, and a lot of different companies are requiring you to be technologically literate, meaning that they want you to know how to create an email, check your email, all those different things. So on here, you will find access to different videos on how to do that, how to create a Gmail account. Gmail is very important now. I know you might like Yahoo, or someone may like Hotmail or a different one, but a lot of people are using between 3 main platforms now, and that's iCloud, Apple, Google, and Microsoft. And so with Google, you can utilize YouTube. Google and YouTube's connected. Google's also connected to something called G Suite or G Schools, and it's very good to have an additional account, especially either Microsoft or Gmail. Here's how to organize your email box. This is normally dealing with Outlook, Microsoft Outlook. This is showing you how to set up a username or password or email for your FUSD account. Now, some of you already have that information because I did receive some emails from an FUSD student account. If you click on that, that will show you how to do that if you haven't done so already. And that email account, you get emails from the school and from the district. Important information that you won't necessarily get to your personal email. And it's a good email to use, especially when you're applying for positions sometimes, as it shows that you are being educated at the time of the email. And then the last one, if you need this, what to do when receiving a remind text from teachers. We're going to touch on that next, on how to utilize Remind. That's what I use. A lot of teachers use that. If you've been in Fontana Adult School, you might already have a Remind account. Some of you might have a Remind account from your children. A lot of the elementary schools and middle schools use that as well. So you might have a parent account, and so once I give you that information, you can sign up. If you're having trouble still with using Zoom, they also have information on how to use Zoom. And so let's say after today, you're still having some issues, you could click on this PDF. I mean, it's 2020. You can also YouTube it. Just type in how to use Zoom. YouTube is literally becoming a university. And I just read today that Google, which owns YouTube, is literally trying to create its own university. So we are definitely moving on to the technological realm, and you definitely want to keep up with the change of pace. So once again, fusd.net/adult school is how you will find the Fontana Adult School page. If you ever forget, just send me a message and we could do that. And then once again, you just see some other documents. There's a lot of stuff on here, and like I said, we don't have the time and the luxury to look at every aspect. But just as you see here, trained to be an HVAC operator. Right? HVAC, you could get a job anywhere in the world knowing how to deal with HVAC, as air conditions run the world, basically. So they have that there too, so if you're interested in that. All right, other than that, you can peruse the website on your own. But any questions before moving on regarding the website? All right, looks like there's no's there. All right, looks like everybody has got
Mr.
that.
Ray.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Johnny. I was wondering, like, for the students that we already had our, Fontana Adult School login.
Right.
Do we have to open a new login and a new username, or because honestly I can't remember. That was like 3 years ago. And
That's interesting. Never been asked that before. Because it's been 3 years, I'm not sure if they purged your account or not.
Well, they told me in the office that it was still active because
Okay, well, in that case, your password should still be there. You might have to reset it.
Okay.
If the reset doesn't work, you can contact the school. They're more than likely put you in connection with the IT, and he can reset it for you if you can't get on.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
It's a great question, though. I have to ask them too. I'm gonna ask as well just to make sure in case that question comes up again.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much.
You. All right, I just had somebody log on. I just let you in, and I forgot who it was. George and Adriana. So welcome, George. Welcome, Adriana. If you can hear me. If you're having problems with your mic, Adriana or George, if you look at the very bottom of your screen, you should see a microphone, and you can click that to allow your mic to turn on. And if you still see the tab open, you should see a box that says Join with Computer Audio. So you have to make sure you click that just in case you're trying to respond. All right, so what we're gonna do now is look at the Remind app. And here is what it looks like. You can get the Remind app on your phone. So you can download the app on your phone, or you can access it through the internet. If you do that, it's www.remind.com, spelled like remind, as you see up here. So just do remind.com. If you do not have an account, it's of course going to prompt you to create an account. And so you want to do that. If you don't care to have it on computer, but rather on your phone, if that's more efficient to send messages to me and vice versa, then you can download the app from one of the Play stores, App Store, Google Store, whichever store you have. And you just type in Remind in your phone's Play Store, and just type in Remind. You'll see something like a cloud or something pop up. Forget what the symbol looks like, but it looks like a talk button, I believe, and it's blue. Excuse me. And you download that. Once you do that, if you haven't got it downloaded, once you download that, it's going to prompt you to join a class. Now, whether you're on your phone, tablet, or computer, it will look like this. Now, this is important because I do not like using the emails because it's hard to mass email everybody, especially when you get new people in, and I have to constantly create these groups. It's much easier using the apps. App technology is much much more user efficient. So if you click join a class, it's going to ask you to put in a code. The code that you will put in, and I will send it into the chat, is right here at math.dou. So that's the code that you will put in. And once you do that, it's going to be just like any other social media platform. Of course, it looks a little different, but it allows you to chat. You can send messages to me right away. I can send you files on there as well. So go ahead and try that. You can look on your phone, look for the Remind app. You can go on your computer if you know how to open up a secondary tab, and you can type in www.remind.com. While you're doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and copy this and send it to the chat group in the Zoom. So right now I'm just using 2 platforms. That way you're not overwhelmed. Zoom and Remind. That's the only 2 that I'm using for this course. All right, so let me go ahead and send that in to you guys. Any questions though while I'm doing that?
I have a question, Mr. Ray.
Okay.
I know I got your message 3 days ago on Remind, and you wanted me to reply yes, and which I did, but it keeps failing. It's not going through, so I don't know why.
Okay, so what do you see that, like, what comes up?
The message says, "Hi, Dorcas, this is Mr. Ray. I'm using Remind to send important update. Reply yes to this text." And I did that, and each time I send yes, it fails. So I don't know why.
Okay, that's, and you're doing it through your phone, I'm assuming.
Yeah, on my cell phone. I got the message on my cell phone because I was already on Remind too with one of my boys in school.
Yeah, that's strange. Did you try to download the app?
I already have it on my phone, so I don't know.
Okay, so what I want you to do then, and this is for anyone else who might be having that same problem, the code that I just sent, you should see it in the chat. Go ahead and click the join a class and then type in that code or you don't have to hit the @ symbol. The @ symbol normally comes up. Just type in the all lowercase math.dou, no spaces, and see if you could do that. So if you have a smartphone, or if you're on the computer, see if you could do that. It is so much easier. Okay, I see some of you just joined. So Johnny Garcia, I see you just wrote something. Hi, I got this, Mr. Ray. All right, Gennaro, I see you just joined as well. So welcome as well. Jacob, I see you've joined. Justine? You have to unmute your mic. I just did it for you.
Okay. I have a question.
Sure.
When I logged in to the Remind app, I was trying to send you a message on here.
Right.
It says D Ray is only reachable by email. To receive messages by text or app, they'll need to update their notification preferences.
Okay, that's not true, so I don't know why they're saying that.
I got like a big red flag when I tried sending out a message.
Okay.
I did not receive the invite either that everyone else. It looks like everyone received an invite.
Yeah,
I did not receive that either. No.
All right, so when you join it, what do you see Fall 2020 Math Foundations?
Yes.
All right, tell me if you see this.
And it has.
I'm going to send a message.
Says, okay.
Go ahead.
It just puts me back to a category of HSE mathematics.
That's what it takes you to?
Yeah.
No, that's strange. Oh, wait, I think you have there's one that somebody tried to create, and I think that's what you might be in. I had some students tell me about this ghost account that I didn't create, but that exists. So that might be it. You might be on that secondary account that somebody created. I don't know if the school created it for me or what happened, but there's some account with your name. And the fact that you said HSE Math, it reminded me that I see some of you guys are getting in good. Go ahead and put join class and try this code again and see what happens.
I tried it and it says that I'm joined already.
Okay, Carlos, let me see. Hey, I see you, Carlos. You're right there. Yeah, you gave me 2 thumbs up.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, got you there. And just let me know if you can't join. If you don't have that phone, if you try to stay off that addictive technology and you prefer to do it on computer. Remember, with the computer, you can click the tab and try it on another tab or open up another browser. You could type in remind.com. But it's so much easier for us to communicate on here. It could come to your phone, it could come to your laptop, it could come to anything. And I have 2 Adrianas. Adriana that's already in here, well, what is your last name? I just had another Adriana join. Unless hello, Adriana? Any Adriana? One of the Adrianas? Okay, I see Adriana that just came in, you're Ramirez. Okay, that helps a lot. All right, so I see a lot of you have joined and I see you speaking. Give me thumbs up. Great, got it. Hello, yes, I see them here. All right, great. So was anyone not able to get on to remind?
Me, Norma.
Norma, I'm looking for you, Norma. I have you on the minimize one, so just bear with me. Do you have your video on, Norma? Okay, I see where you are. You have it off. All right, Norma, what was your problem that you're having?
I got the reminder from you and I went ahead and I put it in there, but it's asking me for a password.
Okay, the password is that thing I just sent you.
The
Math? Yeah, the @math.dou.
Okay, let me do this again because
Mr. Ray, will you be sending us our assignments on this?
Okay, yeah, so how this works is I will send worksheets on here. Yes, some assignments will be on there. I don't have, where's my phone? I just make sure how it looks on the phone real fast. I have it up on computer and I know it's slightly different, so I'm just gonna make sure I see what it looks like from this side. All right, so it's a little bit, no, it's the same. So on your phone, if you're on your phone, you'll see messages, files, people, settings, right? You should see that. Messages, that's where all the messages come in. As you see here, people saying hello and whatnot. If you click on the files, there's nothing in there yet. But on the files right now, what you see is the link to the Zoom. But this is where you will find any worksheets. So if you click on the files, if you look on your phone, you see the same settings. You see messages, files, people, settings, right? So if you click files, that's where you'll find the worksheet. So yes, that's where you'll find them. If you click people, I don't know if you guys see people. I have an admin status, but if you see people, you might even see, do you guys see people on your side?
yes.
Okay, so if you click people, you're gonna see all the people that are enrolled. And you can send messages. You can say, hey, I missed class. What did we talk about? Mr. Ray's not answering me, right? You could do that and find information from someone in the class. You could click the settings. No, that's me, right? So I don't think you have that settings that I have, so I don't want you to see all of that information. But that's the main gist. So once, if I put a file in there and you're like, oh, I missed it, just go there and you see the file in this section. Right, so what I do, I actually use the textbook a lot, and that's because the textbook uses a lot of real world scenarios, and that's what the GED is really testing you on. Most people do not like mathematics anymore, and a lot of people don't think math is even needed in society, but it is. We use it all the time. And so in the GED textbooks, you'll see more questions. So we're gonna do work from worksheets that just deal with the bare bones, the skeleton of mathematics, and then we're going to use the textbook, which goes deeper into where we use it every single day. And because all of you, I believe, are planning to take the GED or the HiSET at some time, you will see that most of the GED questions are based off of real life scenarios. And so we will be using both. So everyone definitely needs to have the textbook. All right, so any other questions with the Remind?
Yeah, mine's showing everything, but I don't get all those messages on the side. So
You're not seeing anyone saying hello and all that?
I don't under like conversation. I don't get none of that. I see D Ray. I sent you a thumbs up, and it still never popped up as if it sent anything out.
Are you on a phone or computer?
I'm on an iPad.
I know sometimes when I'm on the computer, it doesn't pop up unless I refresh it. So on your iPad, are you on the app or are you on the browser?
The browser.
Okay, with the browser, try refresh, and then you might see it. The refresh, I forget what it looks like on the iPad. Where's my iPad? On the iPad, it should look similar. I can't remember right now.
I'm on the computer talking to you, but I'm on my iPad. Look,
right.
Trying to set it up, and it's not.
Did you push the refresh button?
Yeah, I did the refresh, and it still just says it's you up there, but I can send something. I can send a message, but nothing happens.
Do you mind putting it on the screen? I just want to see if I can make out possibly what it could be, because I can't think about what's causing the problem there. Yeah, that's strange. Yeah, that's strange. It's something with your settings, I'm assuming. Does everybody else see everyone's messages that are showing up?
I'm still having trouble trying to get it connected.
Connected via computer or
Yeah, in
via?
other words, no, the one you, what was it?
Remind?
The one that everybody's connecting to.
So are you using a computer or an iPad?
Computer.
Okay, so I'm trying to think of yours at the same time. What's happening there?
I'm gonna try downloading the app.
Okay, yeah, that might help. Because sometimes iPad doesn't work well, their browser with different apps on the browser part. So let me know how it goes with the app. All right, Clemente.
Yes.
You're on remind.com, right?
Yeah, well no, I'm not. What do you mean, right now?
Yeah, you said you're on the computer. So did you access remind.com?
Yes, I did.
Okay, what do you see?
Well, I see the one where it says fall 2020 math fundamentals or I was trying to hook up to that link that you guys were, the one you were sending to the chat, and
right.
I couldn't get. So where is it at? Is it in the chat still?
Well, it sounds like you're on Remind. Did you sign on with your own account? Like, did you sign on, put a password and all that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so what you should see is join a class. Tell me if you see that.
Yes.
Okay, click join class. And what do you see now?
Well, I'm actually in the class right now, right?
I'm not sure. Well, let me see. There's a lot of people in there. Let me see if you're in there. Yeah, you are in there.
Okay.
I'm gonna send you a message on there. Tell me if you see it. I spelled hello wrong, so you know it's me. Did you see it?
No, I don't. Hold on.
Let me see again. Anyone else having any issues with this? Because this is how we're gonna communicate.
I am.
All right, Norma, let me get to you real quick. And Clemente, your last name is Aquino?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I never even went through. Try one more time. Let me. And I'm coming to you as well, Justine.
Okay, I see it now.
Okay, perfect. So you're in. We got you fixed. Norma, you had your.
I'm still having problems.
Okay, so let me go in the order I saw. So Norma, Justine, and then Dorcas.
Okay,
So Norma,
I'm in Reminder, and it says email address or phone number.
is asking you for that?
Yes.
Okay, so you could put in your email or your phone number. That's how it's going to access. Now you don't have to tell us. So if you don't want people to know your phone number, that's where this comes in. You can communicate with people and they don't know what your information is.
Okay.
So you can choose email or phone. If you want to come to your phone, I mean, if you're using a phone, it's going to come to whatever app you have. So the choice is yours, which one you want to use to connect the account.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead and fill that in. And then once you get there, the thing I still have circled, join a class.
Well, it has me now. I did my email and it says check your email to confirm your access, enter the 4-digit code.
Okay, so that you might have, phone would have probably been better. Now you have to go to your email to access that code. You're going to take did you use a Gmail account or some email that you can get onto right now?
Yeah, it actually I'm on my phone doing it.
Okay,
So
yeah,
I
so
can,
get the code from your email, put it in there, and then once you do that, it's going to open your account.
okay.
So do that, and once you do that, let me know. I'm going to go to Justine.
Okay.
All right, so Justine.
Yes.
All right, so what was your question?
I also see the same thing. Just your messages are visible. Not every, there's no other messages that I
And
can
no
see.
one else. That's strange. I haven't seen that happen before. Anyone else is having that issue that Johnny Lewis and Justine's having, where you just see you and me and that's it?
Yeah, I can't see any of your messages either.
I'm
I
using-
saw Johnny show up, but none of yours.
Sorry.
Yeah, it let me send a message, but it was like to everybody individually. So everybody probably got a thumbs up from me, but it didn't let it send it like to a group.
Yeah, you have the option. I think you have the option to just select to one person, correct?
Yeah, you
and
do have that
for
option.
a group. Yeah.
The only other thing I can think that's happening is, so Jacob, Johnny, and Justine, if you scroll to the very top, like if you see my name, right? So click on my name. If this doesn't work, I have to Google it. Now that you click on my name, on the right side, you should see, or on your chat box, you should see, like you see here, I put a hello everyone. If you scroll to the top, you're gonna see like a welcome thing. And it's gonna ask you a question. Do you wanna see all the previous conversations? Do you see that? When you scroll to the top of the conversation, click yes or whatever option they're asking you to do and see if that populates everything.
I have a question.
Yes.
Because I have 3 of my kids on this remind thing. So I logged in and everything, but in the screen it shows Bella York. That's one of my daughter's name instead of mine. So I don't, like I'm in, but it's giving her name, not mine. Is that a big problem or?
That's not a problem, but I mean, I just have to remember Bella York is you.
Oh, I'm just trying to see like how I'm gonna switch it, or I'll just figure out later. Maybe I can.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, because you have multiple accounts, so it's picking
Yeah.
up her account instead of yours.
Yes.
Yeah, it could be because you're set as parent and she's set as student that it just decided to choose her instead of you. If you join only as a parent, that could be what's happening. The system is a bit confused.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
maybe
I'll
I
just
should-
remember, if you can or if you don't, Bella York is you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so Johnny, Jacob, and Justine, did that work? Did you see what I was talking about, the notification?
No.
Did you see the notification at all?
I still only can see your stuff. I thumbs up that whatever you put out that you have down here.
Okay, but did you see what I was referring to? If you scroll up to the top of the conversation, like, do you see like this, you see what I see here? It says, welcome, hi, blah, 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 blah. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
What
And it
comes
says, it does say, would you like to see the prior conversations before you logged in? So it does give me a drop down, and it's your invite from Zoom. There's like only 3 different things that show up, but I can't see anything else that has been said.
Can you answer the yes and tell me what happens? So click the yes. Do you guys see that? Johnny and Justine, the same thing he just said?
I don't have a yes. I have 3 things that drop down as far as like
What does it say when you see that?
Oh, it just says the fall, or welcome to fall 2020 with our math fundamentals, and then it drops down. It gives me a link to.
Okay, scroll up even higher. So can you go up even higher than that?
As high as it lets me go.
That's strange. How about you, Justine?
Right.
I see the same thing.
Mr. Ray,
Yes.
on the last semester when I had the remind, I did ask that question as well, if everybody's able to see conversations, and the teacher that I had said that we won't see other people's conversations. So I think it's just set up that way.
Okay, that's what I was trying to see. I don't know what it looks like from your side. So yeah, that could be it then.
Mr. Ray.
And it's because no one else has sent you anything. So as long as you see mine, that's good.
Yeah, because even with my kids, I don't see any other parents. It's only me and the teacher.
Thank you, Maria. All right, so you guys will not see anyone else speaking, it looks like.
Mr. Ray.
Yes.
Excuse me. I think you're sending the message to the other Johnny. I received like 10 thumbs up.
Yeah. So okay, one of you have Y and the other one has IE. Can you guys keep it like that so I know the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of you have IE, one of you have Y. Perfect. Yeah, I have two of, I think, another name up here, Adriana. There's two Adrianas in here, and I'm pretty sure it's two of somebody else. All right, so other than that, it looks like you guys won't see that. So thanks for the clarification there, Maria. I wasn't sure what it looked like on your side, as I do not have a student account. All right, so with that said, it sounds like everybody is on and connected with Dorcas.
Mr. Ray, I
Yes.
don't know if I connected. I just got
I see you, Dorcas.
confirmation code.
You are
Am
there.
I on?
Yep, you're there. I'm gonna give you an okay little sign there. Well, I put low. I was trying to type in hello, but you should see it.
Got it.
Okay, perfect. Anyone else? Everybody's in?
Yes.
Okay, sounds great. All right, so that's where you're gonna see, if you know anyone else that's supposed to be in this class and you're friends with them and they missed today, let them know, say, look, remind, get on it. Other than that, we are about to move on. If there are no other questions, I see a hand up. Maceo, your hand's up.
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right.
Just one quick question.
I was just testing it.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I changed the name. I just wanted to see if you can see it to my name, Leonor.
Okay, let me
you
type
see
that
it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's changed.
Okay.
York joined. No, it says Leonor Gomez. Yes,
Okay.
perfect. Okay, so it looks like everyone is in, and so that's where I will be sending information. I know not everyone's present today, so we might have to do this just one more time on Thursday. More than likely, I'll do it at the end of class, since those who missed in the orientation part. Right, so if there are no other questions, what we're going to do now is look at how to use the textbook. And hopefully everyone has that. Does everyone have the books?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so more than likely, the school gave you 2 books if you did not purchase your own. And what you see on those 2 books, if you look at the covers, you're going to see one that has a blue strip on the top left corner, and one that has green. The one that has blue says student book. The one that is green says workbook. As we progress, I'm going to be giving you homework from the workbook, or I just will let you just work on it as much as possible. Now the thing is, it's kind of difficult doing stuff online. So the reason why they actually gave you the textbooks is because of the new difficulties of online learning. And because of that, I'm going to show you how to use the answer page. There are answers in the back, and forgive me, I didn't open up my thing. Hold on real fast, sorry about this. Quick commercial break. I have a scanned copy of the book, and I need to share that with you guys. So I thought I had it open, but I did not. So just bear with me while I find it and then open it. And that way you can see exactly what I'm describing, because trying to describe it to you is just going to be a little bit difficult. So just bear with me real fast as I find that. Let's see. This one. All right, this is it right here. All right, found it. Whew. I was gonna say, man, I will have you guys on here waiting. All right, do you guys have your textbook open? Both books?
Yeah, baby.
All right, perfect. Now we're moving on to how to use this notebook. And I'm gonna share my screen and you should see the table of contents. So this is what you should see in your book. Someone call me? Okay, maybe you just had your mic on. All right, so let's go over how to use this. The table of contents is found if you look at the bottom of your page, and it really doesn't matter which one you have. Actually, no, let's stay consistent. Which one is this one? This is the student book or workbook? I can't even tell. Okay, this is student book. So open up your student book for me. So remember, there are two books. The student book has the blue strip in the front. The green strip with the workbook, you could put that to the side for now. And we're going to look at the student book. The concept to using both books is the same. So if you learn how to use one, you learn how to use the other. These books are so similar that even if you're in language arts, social studies, or science, the books have the same general premise of how to use it. All right, so what you want to do is turn to the page in your book that has the 3 I's. That's the Roman numerals for 3. So make sure you have the student book. Now, although you're having the student book, I'll just let you know this is from the workbook, so it will look just a little bit different. But when I scroll down, it's going to turn into the student book. So just have your student book out. It's the same page, whether you're in the student book or in the workbook. It's the same page, even if you're in math, English, or science, or social studies. It has the 3 I's at the bottom. Does everyone have the table of contents there?
Yes.
Yep. All right. Okay, sounds good. Thumbs up, all right. And heads are nodding. All right, so that's the table of contents. And all right, perfect. So in the chat as well. In the table of contents, what you'll see is basically where everything is located. It's like that with any book. You see the title page, this I, 2I, that's the stuff that really doesn't matter right now, but it's good to know where that stuff is. That's the case for any book that you have, any textbook, any book you like to read. Now we get what's called the table of contents on 3I, right? So 3I is at the bottom. And what you'll see, remember, have your student book open. What you see here is actually from the workbook. But like I said, as I scroll on, it will change to the student book. And so instead of having you go back and forth, you're going to stay on the student book. So the only difference between the student book and the workbook is you don't see unit review at the bottom, right? If you look at yours, if you have the student book open, it says unit review. Now, how this works, it tells you the pages of each of our different lessons. Now, for math foundations, we don't really focus on algebra, so we're skipping unit 3. What we really focus on is how to do arithmetic and geometry and some of statistics. We don't really go into algebra. So what we're going to be using is the workbook to do extra problems, and that's what you're going to be doing at home. And so at your home or your leisure, whenever you can, if it's somewhere else, you're going to do work from there. So you see here, whole numbers, that's pages 2 through 5. Right, so if you go, and on the, for your one, it says 2 to 3. But that's how you'll find each lesson, right? It's based off of the unit. So the unit is number sense, unit 1. And then lesson 1 is whole numbers. That's how everything is broken up. If I wanted unit 4 is called geometry. And lesson 4 is on circles. Does everybody see that?
I have a question really quick.
Yes.
Can you write on the book? Or,
If you're borrowing it, no.
oh, okay. Just
Yeah.
making sure.
No,
I have a habit to do it. Now.
Yeah, if you're
It's like
borrowing
my hands are going like, okay.
So the thing is, if you do it with light pencil and you can erase it and no one see it, you know, that's plausible. I ain't saying yes,
Okay.
but I will say no. But it's if so happens that you do write on it,
Uh-huh.
please make sure it's in pencil
Okay.
and not hard pencil. You know, some people write real hard. So
Yeah.
light pencil that can be erased. But so yes, great question. Can you write in the books if you are borrowing the books? No. So thank you for
Okay.
asking that.
Thanks.
Okay, so yeah, so that's how it works. Unit, circles, unit, lesson, and page. Now, why is that important? Because you're going to have to use the answer keys in the back to assist you, because we won't be able to do a lot of stuff in person. So remember, unit, lesson, page, unit, lesson, page. All right, so now that you know that, one other thing I want to show you is this page here. This is on page XII. See if you can. Hello? Okay, somebody's mic's on, and if you hear me, I'm just going to mute everyone. That way I don't get it. I don't
Great.
think. Hello?
Yeah, this is me, Salvador.
Yes.
Do I supposed to be looking at your screen? Still sharing your screen?
Yeah, you're still looking at my screen.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So what we're going to do now is turn to page XII. That's Roman numerals 412. So you're looking for XII at the bottom of the page, and you should see a calculator there. So make sure you're in the student book XII, and let me know once you. Yep, there you go, Maceo. Yep, that's right, Carlos. And I see thumbs up from Ray. Right.
What page did you say?
XII. Salvador, I see that as well. And okay, William, you got it. Daniel got it. So XII. I'll scroll back down so you can see it. That's what it looks like. XII. And you should see a calculator there. All right, is everyone there? I see some people still looking, but it's at the beginning of the book. So if you see numbers, like regular numbers, you've gone too far. You're looking for the Roman numerals. And using the Roman numerals, you should see this calculator page. And let me count. From the beginning of the book, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages that you can grab, that you can literally grab. So it's at the very beginning of the book. So, all right, I see, okay. Looks like everyone has it.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so this is the calculator that is used if you are planning to take the GED math exam. They only use one calculator. If you buy your own calculator and you learn to use that calculator and you get on the tests, when you take the HSC class, if you're planning to take it under Math Foundations, then, you know, go ahead. But I do want you to know how to use this calculator before you get to HSC. That will really benefit you. So this is the calculator. If you choose to purchase it, I will show you how to use it. It's called the TI-30XS Multiview. Now, it's not an expensive calculator. You can buy it online. Yes, you can take that to the test room. If you don't have a calculator, they provide you with one on the computer. And on the computer is a programmable TI-30XS, which means if you don't know how to use it, you're going to run into trouble on the test. And so we're going to learn how to use this calculator. It's not, you know, it is necessary. I want you guys to learn how to use it. So if you can get it, think of it as an investment. I know you may not want to spend money, but this thing does not cost that much. So if you can part with anywhere between $15 to $20, that's how much it costs. That's a bit too much, then, you know, you don't have to get it. But think of it as an investment to help you pass the math GED when you're ready to take it. And when you get into the HSC course and you do more algebra, you've already mastered how to use the calculator, which will optimize your time and your ability. So it's called the TI-30XS Multiview. Now on this page, it actually shows you how to use it. And if you're in any other class, social studies, science, etc., you're going to use it. Now this calculator is used for varieties of subjects. It's used in math, it's used in the science test and the social studies test. So depending on where you are in your GED path, you will have to use the calculator. Now, the question is how much, Ray? And I'm going to show that to you real fast. I'm just going to switch screens real quick and go to the internet. And I'm going to type it in there so you can see. The calculator, depending on where you get it from, can be as low as $10 to as high as 20-something. Okay, I see $35 from William.
Mr. Ray, I got a question.
Yes.
Is that has to be a data specific one?
It
It's a
does.
scientific. It's a scientific, right?
It is a scientific, but the GED has this policy, it has to be that calculator.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, so if you bring a different calculator, they won't let you, unless they change the rules. But as far as the rules stand now, if you bring a different calculator, even if it's scientific, they will not let you take that one in. They'll tell you use the calculator that's on the computer. When you bring it up on the computer, it looks identical to the TI-30XS. As long as I can get my one back, you'll see what it looks like when I get to the calculator section of this. All right, so if you type in TI-30XS multi-view, you see it pops up there. Make sure it's multi-view. And I just click images. You see different ones there. Do not get the yellow one. So if you see different colors, don't get the yellow one, because on every yellow one it says school property. And if you take it on a test and they see school property, it might cause some problems. Even if you say, I bought this myself, you know, it's my money. It might cause problems. So don't get a yellow one, even if it's on sale for cheaper. You could get any of the other ones, the pink, the gray, etc. But that's the TI-30XS multi-view calculator. And just to show you the price, here are some of the different prices. Walmart has it for $15.44. Let's see. I need to go on Google. Yahoo doesn't bring up a lot, so let me change it to google.com. And I'll type in the calculator again, TI-30XS multi-view. All right, yeah, a little bit more choices on here. Amazon sells it for $15.44 as well as Walmart, as does Target. So if you're on Amazon Prime or Amazon period, you could get it maybe in a day or two, depending on when you get it. Sometimes they get it the same day. We live in California. We have distribution centers all over the place. So you might get it the exact same day. Target sells it for a little bit more, $15.99. Walmart, $15.44. Both Walmart and Target have it in store. So, you know, check out your areas. $15 is not too much, and it's definitely a help. And you will always have it, right? It lasts for years. Calculators last for a long time. All right, so there's some places where you could get them from. Make sure you write it down. I've had some students in different classes get the wrong TI-30XS because they have the TI-30X2S, right? Very close, and it's cheaper. So you go to the store, you're like, oh yeah, that's cheaper, right? But don't get that one. That is not the calculator that you want. And it's not even as good. The other one is better. And you'll see once we get there, you're gonna be like, man, I'm so glad I got this calculator. All right, so you don't have to get it right away. You won't get onto the calculator section to maybe 3 weeks from now. But if you want to get it now and play around with it, use the book to learn how to use it. You can do that. It's just that you want it within about 3 weeks or so. I will get to how to use the calculator. We're going to practice using it to optimize your ability to do excellent on that exam. And you'll see why once we get there. It could work out fractions, mixed numbers, it does tables, it does all sorts of stuff. Very beautiful calculator. All right, so any questions about the calculator?
No.
All right. Okay, so since there are no questions there, I think that's it for the orientation. We're just going to go ahead and begin. And let me just go back over here. We're going to go ahead and start with the whole numbers. And I'm just going to stop sharing and then bring up another screen. So you can either bring up your notebook and whatnot. We're going to start with the understanding of whole numbers. And a lot of this stuff might be, you might start to remember it. Some of you, it might be new. But either way, you want to do your best and never, ever be negative. I'll tell you one more thing. Normally, I tell people as I go on. But I wasn't always good in math. I was in elementary, but then for some reason, they had me take some tests and I did well, and they put me in an honors class, and that was the worst thing they could have done. And from 8th grade to 12th grade, my math skills went downhill. And it was just going too fast for me. I didn't know what was happening. So I basically did not learn anything in high school. I kind of played around. And so when I got to college and I wanted to be an engineer, I had to do math and I had to do remedial math. So I had to start from scratch and work my way up. And so long story short, I ended up becoming one of the top math students in my university. And then I went to do a master's and done well as well. I'll tell you more as we go on. But the whole key is that you can do it, right? It's all about identifying your weak points and fixing the weak points, and identifying your strong points and amplifying them as well. And so as we go on, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for any weak points. Don't feel bad if you don't understand something, right? So let's say everybody gets it and you don't. Don't act like you understood it. Don't be like, oh yeah, I get it, right? Don't do that. Just be like, you know, I didn't understand it. Can you repeat that again, right? Do not be afraid to tell somebody you don't understand. If you don't, then guess what? You miss a point, and and that one point, think of it as a house. If you're missing that corner pole, that corner support structure, the whole house can end up falling down, right? And that's where some people have weaknesses in math. They might have missed something. They're afraid to say, you know what, I didn't quite get that. Don't be afraid. No one should be laughing at you. We're all adults here. And so that high school era of people laughing, even though the one laughing may not know the answer either, right? I used to teach in high school and students would laugh, ha ha ha, you don't know that. And I had a policy, if a student laughed, I'll say, okay, you explain it to him since you think it's funny. And more than likely, the person didn't know it themselves. So keep that in mind. You may not understand something, but someone else may not either. And so if you ask that question, you might actually ask a question for everyone else. So I'll remind you of that over and over, because you know it takes a little while to break a habit. But as we go on, remember, do not be afraid to say, I didn't understand it. Do not be afraid to ask a question on how to do something. Never be afraid. You're in here for your learning to benefit yourself, and you want to make sure you get the best out of that course. All right, so the other thing, we get to this later, but you'll see also a formula sheet there. Oh, sorry, I forgot to do the answers. All right, let's go over how to do the answers. That's what I was supposed to do. Got a little bit distracted there. And then we'll start the first part and finish that on Thursday. But we want to go over how to use the answer key, because you're going to be doing work and I want you to check your answers. And I'm just looking to flip this. Almost forgot. Flipped it the wrong way. All right, just flip it again and one more time. All right, so how to use the answer key. So if you scroll, make sure this is the right one. This is, yeah, this is the workbook. Okay, so yeah, this is from the workbook. So forgive me, this is the workbook. 2 to 5 is the workbook, yeah? So take out the workbook. My bad, I had said the student book, but I thought I'd taken it from the student book. So everybody, just for me, switch to the workbook. And I can't see you guys, hold on real fast. All right, yeah, switch to the workbook. I just have to get out my workbook real quick. I had the wrong book out. All right, so with the workbook, you should see the green on the top of the cover. Does everyone have the workbook out?
Yes.
Okay, so on the workbook, you want to turn to page, I'm gonna share my screen one more time. Turn to page at the bottom, 162. Now the workbook has more challenging questions and more questions. The student book has more explanations and less questions. So where the student book might have 8 or 10 questions, the workbook might have 20 to 30 questions, which means you can practice way more than you could just from the student book alone. The only problem is the workbook doesn't have a lot of explanations. So that's why you use them in tandem. You use them together to get the benefit of what both books have to offer. So is everyone on page 162 on the workbook? Remember the workbook, if you look at the cover, has the green.
Yes.
So make sure you have the workbook out. Not the student book. The student book has the blue. So you don't want the student book, you want the workbook. and you're going to page 162. Now, normally we don't do this, so hopefully when we're back in class, I mean, it don't really matter. It's there for your learning. So 162, is everybody there?
Yes.
All right, what do you see at the very top?
Answer key.
Answer key, right? The answer key has the answers. And yes, I am showing you how to find the answers so that when you're working out on your own, you can check your answers. Now, when you do this, it's important that you always choose a set of problems. It's either you do all 20 problems or however many there is, and then look at the back, or you say, I'm going to do 5 questions and then look at the back. But never, ever get in the habit of looking at the question and looking at the answer, looking at the question, looking at the answer. If you do that, you are training your brain to always expect to see an answer whenever you get on a problem. If you do that and you get on the test, guess what your brain is going to expect soon when you read the first question in the math GED test? It's going to expect that an answer is going to be seen and you're going to be unprepared. So the same way you prepare for a test, it's the same way that you will prepare when you study, which means you're going to try to choose 5 problems, choose 10 problems, and you work through each of the problems first. You struggle if you have to. Once you're done, then look at the back. That way you're training your brain to work through a problem. You're training your brain to be consistent in answering questions. All right, let's try this out. Keep your finger on page 162, and we're going to turn to where this exercise begins. That's page 2 through page 5. Now, before you do that as well, just take a look on the screen. This is for Unit 1, Lesson 1, page 2. That's how we actually use it. So I know some people don't know how, and if you do, then, you know, great for you, you know how to use it. So turn to page 2. Keep your finger on 162 so you can go back to the answer. Now, what do you see on page 2 for number 1 at the bottom of the page? What does that question say?
On which day did the park sell the most daily passes?
All right, and so out of there, you see a number chart on the top. You see Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right above that. And you're supposed to look at the numbers and decide which number is the larger number. And then from there, you decide which day sold the most passes. So let's say you did all the questions. You're now finished. You're not doing it one by one, but you're finished with number 1, and you want to see did you get it correct. Because you're on Unit 1, right? Unit 1 is that's where you are. Lesson 1, whole numbers, page 2. When you get to page 162, that's what you look for. You look for Unit 1, which is up top. I'm on the answer key now. You look for Lesson 1, and then you look for the page numbers, page 2 through 5. Number 1, what is the answer for number 1?
B.
Say it again.
D, Saturday.
Yeah. D and Saturday, and then it gives an explanation why. All right, and that's what you're going to be doing when you're on your own, because we cannot do every single problem at the time that we have and the format that we have. So the workbook, which is normally not given, that's for you to practice, and the answer key is for you to check on yourself to see if you're doing it right. All right, now I'm going to keep your finger on page 162. We're just going to turn to some random question. Let's look at page 70. This is something I wouldn't expect any of you to know the answer to yet.
Which page?
Page 70, 70.
Okay. Got it.
All right, does everyone have page 70? You should see, what does the title of that page say?
Exponent and scientific notations.
That's correct. Lesson 4, exponents and scientific notation. Now we know the lesson is lesson 4. We need to get the page. What page is it on?
70.
But what unit is it from?
4.
Unit 3.
Unit 3, that's on the other page. Does everybody see that? On the other page, page 71 at the bottom.
Yeah.
So it's Unit 3, Lesson 4 on page 70, number 1. Now see if you can find that in the answer key. And once you find the page on the answer key, just let everyone know what page that is. So you're looking for Unit 3 in the answer key, Lesson 4.
186.
Okay, I hear 2 people had said 186. And you see that, you see unit 3, you see lesson 1 on page 186. But it's starting on number 3, so you're gonna have to go 1 page over to 185. And does everyone see how to use the answer key?
Yeah.
All right, any questions on how to use the answer key? And don't be afraid if you didn't quite get it, but you remember you're gonna be doing the answer keys on your own for the workbook. All right, so it sounds like everyone understands the basic gist of how to use it. All right, and so remember the work. Hello?
How did you get to that answer key from that page 70?
Okay, so on page 70, what you see at the very top, it says lesson 4.
Right, I see that.
Right. At the very bottom, you see, well, on the side of the page, you see that little blue tab in the middle.
Right.
What does that say?
Unit 3.
Right, so we're looking for in the answer key, unit 3, lesson 4, and then the page number so that we can find it quickly. And then you're looking for question number 1. So you go back to the answer key. The answer key starts on page 62. And then you're going to use your understanding of what you just did to find that area. So you're looking for unit 3, and then you're looking for lesson 4.
That's 192.
Oh, yeah, someone said 185. Lesson 4 is not on 180 something. Thank you.
Yeah, it's 192.
Yeah, that's 192. Thank you for the correction. I just looked down. I was like, wait, that's not the right lesson.
Yeah,
lesson 4 is actually on page 192. So I'm glad that someone asked that question. Was that somebody confused?
Yeah.
So that's on page 192.
192. Actually, it shows the page on the top on blue.
Yes, it shows it on the top, page 70 to 73.
Yeah.
All right, let's do one more because I didn't even pick that up. I was just saying yes. Let's just look at, if you can turn with me to page 132. So go to page 132. And just to really make sure everyone does have that down. On page 132, we're just on a random page now, and we need to find out where this is in the answer key. So let's say you're trying to find the answer to number 11. Number 11 looks challenging. Yeah, you might not have seen that before. And you want to know what the answer is. What unit is it on?
4.
Unit 4. What lesson is it?
3.
Look at the bottom.
2.
Lesson 2.
So unit 4, lesson 2. You can see the page and you see the number you want. So go to the answer key and you want to go ahead and see if you can find unit 4, lesson 2 this time. What page?
227.
Yeah, I heard 227. And let me check to be on the safe side this time. It's not to say yes. All right, unit 4, we're looking at lesson 2.
225.
Page 228.
All right, I heard different answers.
225. And 225, start at 225.
I heard 225 and I heard 228.
Actually, it's 228.
Why is it 228?
Because it's unit 4, lesson 2, page from 130 to 133.
Right, that's correct. Right? So that's what you're looking for. Let me see if I can bring up my page there. Right, you're looking for unit 4. I don't know if you guys can see that, but unit 4, lesson 2, not lesson 1. Be careful.
Lesson 2.
I've had students in the past on the wrong lesson and they messed them right up. They're like, oh, I thought this was right, but it's saying A and it's not D. So make sure you get the correct lesson as well. So unit 4, lesson 2, it lets you know the page so you could be on the safe side, and then look at your number 1. All right, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, so now how it works is I will assign information to do from the workbook. Because we are covering a lot of stuff and I do stuff on worksheets and the student book, the workbook is really for you. And the assignment really is just to do whatever lesson we're on. I just say work from that lesson. So I'm not checking it because you could check the answers. It's the worksheets that we will review in class. The only way I would review from the workbook is if you have questions still. Sometimes the explanations aren't that clear, and you can ask in the following class, can you do some questions from this one? The answer key, give a description but didn't make sense. Sometimes they don't have all the explanation. They assume that you know something and they may leave it out. Okay, so one more time, any questions from how to use the answer key?
No.
No.
No. Nope.
Sounds good. All right,
Question.
let's do it.
Question.
Yeah, question.
So we cannot write anything on the workbook, right?
Yeah, they do not want you to write on the workbook.
Okay.
So, you know, but if somehow your hand takes over your mind, just please make sure it's in pencil. But yeah, we don't want anyone to write on it, so especially not in pen, because we can't erase the pen. With pencil, it can be erased, but some people write hard, and so it's hard to erase that as well. And so if, let's say you get a book that has the answers already circled, that could be frustrating to you if you want to try to work it out.
Oh.
So everyone uses these books, so if somebody answers every single question, it really takes away the ability for someone to do it for themselves, as the answers are right there. So it's best to have a notebook, and you can do the same thing with your notebook. You can title it as Unit 1, Lesson 1, and then the numbers. That actually is a skill, a life skill that you want, is that whenever you have a notepad or notebook, is to always title that, even with the date, which is appropriate. You'll learn that in different courses. You might have already learned it in some of the courses that you have taken, is to always have that title. You learn that with emails, etc. So with your notepad, it's good to do that as well. One thing in math, limiting confusion makes it much easier. And the less confusion you have, is the easier it is to retain information.
Is there any I haven't done math in a long time. So if I get stuck with like something, is there like a tutoring or like a website maybe you're suggesting for us to go into, or
all right, so
search?
one of
I
two
don't know.
things. You could send me a message or remind. You could let me know what it is, and I'll try to answer as soon as possible.
All of them?
Well, I'm hoping it's not all of them, but you know, at least one or two of them. I'm assuming that some people. That's normally what happens. I have people asking me about questions. The second thing is, who does have the tutoring thing? I'm not sure if it's opened up with COVID-19 now, or if they opened it up even in this semester. I know it's shut down between spring and summer. I don't know if they opened it up. So that's a good question. I need to find out if they're still doing tutorials online.
Okay.
Let me just write that down.
Mr. Ray.
Yes.
I think I got it. So over here, let's say when on page 162, it says Unit 4, Lesson 2. So I go to Unit 4, and then I couldn't find the lesson part, but now I got Lesson 2, and then go to answer 11, right?
Right.
Okay.
And what page was that? Just to make sure that you were in the right one.
So let's say from page 132, question 11, and I found the answer on 228 on the all the way at the bottom. Is that right?
And yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how you do that. Well done.
Got it.
All right. Good. Okay. So did I have finished answering your question, Lenore?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Couldn't remember.
Thank
All right.
you.
Any other questions? If not, we're just going to go ahead and start the lessons. So going once, going twice. If you have a question now in terms of the orientation, you can ask it now. And it looks like everyone is caught up. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start with the whole numbers. And let me just bring up a PowerPoint. Normally we don't make it there, so I didn't have my PowerPoint open. Let me just do that real fast. I have one that I like to bring up, and my computer is dying, so just bear with me as I plug that in. All right, let's see where this to. So we're going to start off with whole numbers, and whole numbers are basically the building blocks of our number system and how to do everything dealing with arithmetic. And what we're going to practice is how to say numbers correctly using what we call the place value chart. All right, so let me just make sure I can get back to my screen. There we go. Okay, do you guys see my screen right about whole numbers?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, so let's start off with what whole numbers are, and I will be going in between. I'll probably be sending a worksheet between now and tomorrow, and for you guys to practice this some more. All right, so whole numbers are basically any number that can be comprised of the digits 0 through 9. And so we actually start counting them from 0. So basically every number including 0. Now this book doesn't go into it. There is not the same as our counting numbers. Our counting numbers, we start counting at 1. But whole numbers is specifically utilizing the 0. And because that's how we create what we call the decimal number system. The decimal number system is based off of tens, and we're going to learn more about that as we go on. And so basically any number you can think of is comprised of these 10 digits. And it's 10 because we include the 0. 0 is the first digit. And so when we get to 9, that actually makes 10 digits. If you want to do that yourself, start counting 0 at your first finger. So those 10 digits is what comprises our entire number system. And so that means we want to know how to say the numbers as well. Now, every digit that is in a number corresponds with a certain place value. And these place values have names. And that's what you see in the student book. So this is from the student book if you want to follow along. And that's page, I cut the page off, page 2. So in page 2 of the textbook, you'll find this. And I will be going in between both the book and some other stuff. All right, so let's say I had a number such as the 212, as we see here. That number is read 212. And the reason why we know that is based off of what we see right here, the place value chart. And I will share the place value chart in Remind later on so that you can practice this some more. And what we're going to do is practice how to say some of these numbers correctly. So let's start off with this number here. I don't see it written out. You might see it in your book. And then I'm going to just throw out some other numbers. How do we say this number right here?
43,062.
Okay, does everyone agree with that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, well done, you guys. So far, so good. All right, sometimes I have people who don't know how to say that number. And the way that we say it is by the location of the place value. So this is in the thousands position. What we basically have is the units, which is comprised of the ones, the tens, the hundreds. Then the thousands, which is also contain the ones, thousands, the 10,000s, and then the 100,000s. And then when you get to the millions, it's the same thing. It's the 1 millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions. And it keeps on going. It goes up to billion, and it does the same thing. 1 billion, 10 billion, 100 billion, and trillion, 1 trillion, 10 trillion, 100 trillion. And that goes on in a sense forever. So what we want to do is practice saying different numbers based off of the place value system. And because all of you have the textbook, you don't really have to write that out, and it saves you some time. But what I'm going to do now is switch screens and test your abilities on this. And so let's go ahead and do that. All right, so you should see my PowerPoint, right? Does everybody see that?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, perfect. All right, let's go ahead and try one of these numbers here. The first one's very similar. How would we say number 1?
48,942.
All right, 48,942. How about that second number? How do we say that?
500,
7,000,
507,000.
492.
Okay, I heard various answers and they all sounded correct. And how about the last number here?
2,572,135.
2,572,135. 135.
Say that one more time. What did you start off with?
2,572,135.
Okay, sounds good. And I thought I heard other numbers. And that's correct. And I'm just going to briefly go over it because, of course, we can't hear every person. So let's just recap how to do these numbers. And if you did not know, do not be afraid to say you don't know. I have a HSC class. HSC is technically the class above this one. It's just the one where we introduce algebra into the course. And we had students in here that couldn't say it. So don't feel bad if you don't know how to say these numbers. But we always start from the very beginning. So it's basically a restart of all mathematics. All right, so to say this number, if we were to put it into our place value chart, you could start it from going backwards if that helps. Because we're in the tens of thousands, remember whenever we're going by tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, etc., whatever's in there is read in terms of that statement. So that's 40,000. The 8 is in the thousands place, so that's 8,000. But whenever you have a number that ends with thousands, you say the number first, and then end it with the prefix that is the same. And so for that first part of the number, in case you need it, that one is 48,000. That's the first part. Then the 9 is in the hundreds, so 48,900. 4 is in the tens, so that's 40, and then 2. So 48,942. All right, so that's how you would say that number using the place value chart. And you can always write the place value chart out if you need it. All right, the next number there, so you guys should have heard the answers, but just in case anyone is unsure of how that is written, we have the number there, 507,492, because the 5 is in the 100,000, so you start off by saying 500,000. There's nothing in the 10,000s place, but then there's a 7,000s. And remember, you say the thousands all together, so you end it with thousand. So that's 507,400. Since the 9 is in the tens, that's 92. So 507,492. Now, one thing you should notice that you don't hear me saying is the word and. Now, most of you possibly say it. Almost everyone you hear may say it. But if you do that on the GED, you may just get it wrong. The word and actually indicates the decimal point. You do it with money, you say you have $55.35. The and is signifying the decimal point. So if you say and, like 507,492, you're technically putting a decimal point in there, which would be verbally inaccurate. So you have to remember that. You're saying these numbers without the word and. All right, I know that might be a little bit strange at first, but some of you may remember that. You may remember your teacher telling you not to use the word and in a whole number. You use the and to indicate the decimal point, and you will see that in the GED. But just keep that, and that's not just GED, that's any math course. That word and indicates the decimal point no matter where you go in the world under the math system. So if you're in science, same thing. If you're in engineering, contracting, you name it, it's that and indicates the decimal point. So don't forget that. And the last number, as was correctly stated, but I just want to make sure it's written there. If you start going backwards, the 5, 3, the 1, the 2, the 7, 5, and the 2, as correctly was stated, that's 2 million because it's in the millions place. The 5 is in the 100,000, so that's 2,500,000. But remember, you have some other thousands there. So you're going to say that one all together first.
572.
Right, 572 thousands. Right, so that's 2,572,135. And that's how you say all of the numbers. So for anyone who was not sure of how everyone was able to say it so quickly, that is how we have learned it. We just say it by the place value. No matter how high that number gets, but in the GED, you don't have to go any higher than like 10 million or 100 million. As long as you understand that process, you should be able to say any number that appears. All right, so we're gonna, oh, sorry, one more thing. We also have something called the inequalities, and you should be able to see that in your book if you have it open. The inequality symbols basically means that something is not equal, and we use certain signs to do that. And let me just bring up this real fast. All right, you see a blank screen, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
All right, great. Okay, so the different inequality signs that we have are, first is this one. Let me write it out in a different format. First one we have is going to be the less than symbol. And the less than symbol looks like that.
Less than.
Right? Then we have the greater than.
Right.
And it's okay if you say more than at times. Looks like this. Then you have less than or equal to. And that looks like the less than sign with part of an equal sign there. And then the last one is greater than or equal to. Right now, the way that we actually interpret these symbols is really common sense. It's based off of common sense. And depending on some teachers, in order to help students remember, they use different things like sharks and whatnot. But basically, it shows that the smaller side of that symbol is narrowing down to the smaller number and opening up to the larger number. So the bigger side represents the bigger number, and the smaller side represents the smaller number. And so you read from left to right in the westernized system. You count from left to right on the westernized system. It's the same way when you look at these symbols. Because the smaller side is on the left, then when you read from left to right, you say the smaller side is less than the bigger side, right? You're reading from left to right. Now, some ways that people remember it is they say, you know, the Pac-Man eats the thing. Pac-Man eats the bigger number. Some people say the shark eats the bigger number. The crocodile eats the bigger number. Whatever you do to remember the order of the inequality, just make sure you don't mix them up. All right, so let's try this out. Does everyone have that down? I don't think they read it. Yeah, they did write it there. The last thing that we have is the equal sign, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows what that means. Right, so we have here are the inequalities. Right, that means they are not equal. And then we have the equal sign, which is here. And then we can combine them here, right, with the other inequalities that you see. That's when you combine something. And we're going to work our way up to using that to solve different things or evaluate, because we're not really going into algebra yet, not in this section. All right, any questions about the inequalities before we use them?
No.
No.
Okay, perfect. All right, so let me go back now to this other screen real fast. And once I go, that's going to delete. So does everybody have that?
Yes.
All right, let's go ahead and try number 1 back over here. Which inequality symbol for number 1, hold on. Which inequality symbol for number 1 will go in between each of these numbers to make it true? Remember, we have, hold on, I need to make sure the pen is turned on each time I do this. All right, here we go. All right, so which symbol? Would it be the less than for the first one? The greater than? It's going to be one of these two. So we're not going to use the greater than or equal to or the equal sign. So which one would go in the first one there?
The less one.
Less than.
Okay, I hear less than. And which one is the less than? Is it the first one here? I'm going to just put 1 so that we know the difference. Is it 1 or is it 2? Which one represents less than?
Number 1.
Number 1, that's correct, right? We're pointing down to the smaller number. And we know this number is smaller because that 8 is less than that 9, which means that number is smaller. How about this second number? Which symbol would go in between there, 1 or 2?
1.
Okay, I hear 1. That's a great answer, right? This one can throw off people with the 9 and the 90, but 9 is smaller than 90, and so that one is correct. And how about the last one? Which one is correct?
2.
All right, I hear 2, and we see both of these numbers start off with 2 million, but when we look at the 100,000s,
I almost got that one wrong.
It's bigger, and so you would use 2. All right, that's the basic gist of lesson 1. It's just to go over do you remember the different aspects of the number system. Now, the other thing is rounding. sometimes you have to round numbers based off of their place value. And in order to do that, you have to understand how place value works. And before we do that, let me just stop sharing. I just remembered I had a nice visual one for that. So let me just see if I could bring that up real quick. And should be right in here. Okay, so I'm gonna share something else, and I believe this would assist in understanding rounding. Some of you guys may be proficient with rounding numbers. For the most part, we do it every single day, especially dealing with money. All right, so just to help out with rounding, let me see, share my screen. Where is it to? Too much stuff open. Okay, Sergio just joined us. Hold on real fast, I just had another student join. Sergio, can you hear me? Good day, Sergio. Looks like he's...
I can get you, sir.
Hello, Sergio?
I can get you, but just that my video have problem with my mic. Perhaps the next class I'm going to adjust everything up.
Is that George?
Yeah, George.
You say you're having problems with your mic?
Yeah, so maybe in the next class I will adjust my system.
Okay, it sounds like I hear you. Oh, I hear you now. I was wondering who that was that had the mic issue. But
Yeah.
it sounds like you're better now.
It's good.
Okay, great.
But I can see people. I see you guys, but you don't see me.
Yeah, that's fine. I know some people rather not have the camera on us at certain times. All right, Sergio, are you there? Okay, Sergio can't hear me, but let's go back to what I was about to do. All right, so what we're going to do is look at rounding now. We looked at how to say the numbers. We looked at how to decide which number is larger. And what I want to do now is just go over how to round numbers. And hopefully you guys remember this, and it would be an easy run through. Rounding numbers is just the art of taking a number and rounding it up to a specified unit. And most times that specified unit is ending with a 0. So the tens, the hundreds, the thousands, 10,000s, etc. Now, one way to understand it visually, because everything in math is connected to a real life situation. Don't let anyone tell you that math is foolishness, but everything is connected. If I wanted to round the height of a building, 1,425 feet, to the nearest hundreds place, then which number would that be?
1450.
1400.
1400.
1400, right? And we could see that visually. If I was to put this number on a number line to visualize what that looks like, you can clearly see that this number rounds closer to 1400. And so 1,400 feet would be the answer. Now, sometimes it can get a little bit difficult, depending on if you're doing to the tens, hundreds, thousands. And so let's try this out real fast. If you need the steps, these are the literal steps that help us out to do what we can visually see. So we could visually see it when we draw it. And you could do that on a test or on a paper. It might take some time to draw it out for you, because sometimes it's faster. But if we were to round numbers based off of different place values, then there are some steps that can help us out. Here are the steps here. To round a number, what you would want to do is find the digit you want to round to and underline it. Now, you don't necessarily have to underline it, but it definitely helps. So if I wanted to round 5,478 to the nearest hundreds place, let's just see if you guys know the answer first. What would be the answer for that?
5,500.
5,500.
Okay, 5,500. It sounds like everybody knows rounding, but I'm still going to go through it just in case. All right, so if you wanted to round to the nearest hundreds place, well, that 4 is in the hundreds place. The digit to the right is what decides what happens to the 4. And most of you guys can see that. If the digit to the right is 5 or greater, which it is, it's 7, you're going to round that unit up by adding 1 to the underlying digit. So 4 plus 1 is 5. And then the last step is just to simply rewrite all the other digits there with 0. And when you do that, you get 5,500. So these would be the literal steps in order to round any number based off of which place value. Now, if you was to do this visually, if I was to put this on a visual graph, what you'll see is that 5,478 visually is closer to 5,500 than it is to 5,400. And that's how most people think. They're just like, well, which one's closer? And there it is. But if you need the actual steps, and you'll see why when we get to rounding decimals, that's where most people have challenges, if they do, is with the decimal part. The same steps actually apply. So if you want to write those down, just let me know. How about 5,478 to the nearest thousands place? What is that answer?
5,000.
5,000.
Okay, I heard mostly a unanimous answer there, 5,000.
5,000.
All right, let's go over the answer again because we definitely want to make sure. I know somebody might just want to know, and you can write down these steps if you need them. For part B, same thing. Step number 1, find the digit that you want to round to. You can use your place value to help you understand that. The 8 is in the ones place, excuse me. The 7 is in the tenths place. The 4 is in the hundredths place. And the 5 is in the thousands. So when you round this number, you're actually looking at the 5. That's like your pivot point. And if I was to use the steps that are here, you're going to, once you underline it or indicate which digit you're looking at, look to the digit to the right. Now that 4 is less than 5, so this is where you see step 2B. If it's less than 5, you don't change the underlined digit at all. It stays a 5. And all you do is replace the other digits with zeros. And so that becomes 5,000. And visually, it's the same thing. And if you need me to go back to the steps, I can always go back. If I was to show it visually, instead of going by hundreds now, we're going by thousands. So we have 5,000 on one extreme and 6,000 on the other extreme. 5,500 is in the middle now because we're going by thousands and not by hundreds. And 5,478 would be about here. And visually, you can see that that number is actually closer to 5,000 than it is to 6,000. And so that number rounds down to 5,000. And as you see right there in the steps. All right, does that make sense?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so that's the very beginning of the number system. Now let's go ahead and see if we can apply it to a GED question. So we're going to go back to the, yes.
I got a question. Are you sharing your screen?
I was. Did you see it?
No, I didn't.
Okay, who was that? I don't have my thing up. Did everybody else see it, first of all?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so who said they couldn't see it? Let me bring up your, was it
Carlos.
Daniel?
Carlos.
Carlos, I'm just looking for you, Carlos, so that I have to scroll through now. Once I share my screen, my video screen gets smaller. All right, Carlos, you said you couldn't see it?
Yeah, I couldn't see it.
So you should have an option where you can rotate between my screen. Are you on a computer, iPad, or phone?
Yeah, no, I'm in my computer.
Okay, so with the
computer.
I got
it now. Perfect. I got it now. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so let's try out some of these questions here. This one's a bit faded, but you should be able to make it out. It says, Carrie needs to round her income to the thousands place. What is $56,832 rounded to the thousands place? So what would be the answer for this one?
D.
D.
I hear a loud D. I hear another D there. And I'm just trying to admit Leonore back in. And D, any other answers? Is that unanimous? Does everyone agree with
D?
Yes.
All right, so D is the correct answer there. If you look here, the nearest thousands place, 6 is in the thousands place. Because that 8 is larger than 5, it's going to take that up to a 7. And so we get 57,000. Right, so questions like that, hopefully everyone breezes through. But that's lesson 1, and that's the building blocks of what we're going to be doing. All right, so now let's try a few more there and see how you guys fare with them. Let's look at, I'm looking at the time.
I have a question really quick.
Sure.
Sorry, I lost connection in my internet. You just did, just so I can, in the last 5 minutes, you just did that question, number 1?
Yeah, I just did number 1, and the answer there was D.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we already had done that answer when I did a little test run, so hopefully you guys remembered it from there. All right, let's try a few more, and most times we can finish whole numbers in a few minutes, which is good, because then we can really get into the heavier stuff. All right, so Meredith wrote a check for $182 for $182, C, $118, $182 to pay a bill. How is it written in words? So was it A, B?
B.
B.
$182.
Okay, I heard, am I hearing B as in boy?
Yes.
Boy.
Okay, not D as in dog.
No.
B has a boy.
Okay,
It's
so
B.
I hear multiple B's there. And if those are multiple B's,
B is in boy.
okay, it sounds like all B's as in boy. If that's the case, you guys are the first class that I've ever taught that everybody got it right and chose the same answer. So well done. Because most people get confused with this one. Remember the 180 and 2, right? Most people throw that and in there. And remember what I said, that and is not included in the number. So remember that on the test. And sometimes they put it as A, and that throws people off. But well done. You guys are the first group that did not get tricked by the and statement. Sometimes we get people who say 180 and 2. All right, so that's the answer there. Let's try looking at the time. Number 4. Number 4 says each book in a historical library is given a number. The books are arranged on shelves according to their numbers. The range of numbers for shelves I through L is shown below. So shelf I has 1,337 to 1420, and so forth, right down to shelf L, which is 1623 to 1708. So on which shelf would you find a book numbered 1384?
A.
A.
I.
A.
All right, you guys are on a roll for whole numbers. Number 5, right? Number 5 says Michael swam 2,450 yards on Monday, 2,700 yards on Tuesday, and 2,250 yards on Wednesday. What is the order of his daily swim yardage from least to greatest? What is that order from least? So starting with the smaller number, that's what least means.
C.
A. A.
Oh no, we went off. This is the first time we didn't get all the same answer.
Yes.
You heard all of them now. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. All right, let's go over it carefully here. So we have
C as a cat.
okay, so I hear C as in cat. I hear A and B.
D.
And I hear D. So yeah, I hear all of them.
It's C.
Okay, let's
A
go
has a Carlos.
On the list.
Let's go over this one more time. Remember, you're going in order from least to greatest. So you want to start with the smallest number.
Okay.
So if we look at this one, 2,700 is the largest one. So we know it can't be that one, right?
Right.
Because we're going from the least. Least means the smallest.
Smaller.
A has a Carlos.
So now that I crossed out D, is it A, B, or C?
C.
C.
C as a cat.
C.
Okay, I'm only hearing C's and B's now. So that's we're on the roll.
It's C.
Now if we're going least to greatest, that means the last number has to be the biggest number.
27.
So I should have a unanimous answer now.
C.
C has a
So it's going to be C as in cat. Right? Because 2,700 is bigger than 2,450.
24 and 27.
So B is out of order. It has the smallest number, then it has the largest number, then the second. So the correct order would be the smallest number, 2,250. The second number, 2,450. And then the largest number, 2,700. Remember, you can compare by place value. So if you look at the hundreds place, that's the easiest way to identify the order, 247. All right, so that one was a bit tricky. And because there is, this question shows you how GED questions look. Let's look at number 6. Number 6 bases the information here off of number 5. So if you get number 5 wrong, you might get number 6 wrong. That's how some of the GED questions are. Number 6 says Michael swam an additional 2,500 yards on Thursday. So that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 days. But now they don't want you to put the numbers in order. They want you to put them in order by days. So you want it from greatest to least. So be careful there. One thing about the GD question in math, it also has some grammatical skills that you need. So you have to see that they switch the order. So be careful of that. Sometimes it's not just math. So what would be the order there for number 6? Right, C
B
as
has
in
a
cat.
boy.
C.
B
Okay,
has a boy.
whenever you say the B, the C, or the D,
B.
make sure you say like B as in boy, C as in cat, D as in dog.
B as in boy.
B as in boy.
Okay, B as in boy. Is that unanimous?
Yep.
Yes.
I don't understand.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't, well.
Because it's from the greatest to the
D and the cat.
Okay, so I heard B as in boy, C
B
as in
as
cat,
in
right?
boy.
B as in boy, C as in cat. Those are the two answers that we got. All right, so a question like this, it really is good to write it down. So never be afraid to write down. Sometimes we don't want to do it because it takes up time. And this will be the last question that we'll end on. If you have to go, I understand, but we're finished right here. For questions like these, and you will get questions like these, it's good to write it out, to write it on the side or something. So what was the smallest, the greatest number from before?
27, huh?
What day was 2700 on?
Tuesday.
Monday.
Tuesday. So it has to be either
Tuesday,
B
Thursday.
or D, right? It has to start on the Tuesday.
B.
Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, and Monday.
Okay.
B as in boy.
So that'd be B as in boy.
All right. So I'm hearing more B's as in boys, but I did hear a D as well. Let's just do the second one. Notice they both have Thursday. So that means the third one will decide who's correct there. The second number was the 2500, which was Thursday. So that means we just need to decide what is the bigger number between the Monday and the Wednesday, and which one was bigger, Monday or Wednesday?
Tuesday.
Well, they both have Thursday as second. You see, I underlined that. So we have to decide between the Monday and the Wednesday now.
Monday.
Which one was bigger
Monday.
between Monday and Wednesday? Monday was 2,450. Wednesday was 2,250.
Thursday.
Oh, wait a minute.
Tuesday,
I read this backwards.
Okay, so remember you're doing greatest to least.
I did the opposite. I did least to greatest, and I saw Wednesday was
remember I
a
said
smaller.
sometimes they try to trick you there.
Yeah. No, that's what's B then.
B.
The answer is B.
Yeah, it's backwards. Yeah.
Yeah, it's written backwards. Now that's how a lot of GED questions are. You have to be careful when you answer them. You see that they utilize both your understanding of numbers, and they're also using your understanding of reading comprehension as well. So you have to be very careful. It's not just regular skill and drill. So we're going to be practicing between the two, so that if you take the HSE, you are like going to breeze through the HSE course. And if not, and you decide to take the GD early, that you breeze through that as well, hopefully. So that one was B. Remember, the numbers in order was number 1, in terms of greatest to least, 2,700. Number 2 was the Thursday at 2,500. 3 was the 2,450 on Monday. And the smallest one was on Wednesday. So your order should have been Tuesday, Thursday, Monday, Wednesday.
Thursday, Monday.
All right, so now, because like I said before, I can't really check on you on this aspect, but what I do want you to try to do between now and Thursday is to use your workbook. Remember, we just came out of the student book. But you want to use your workbook. And let me stop sharing for a brief second so you can see. Remember, the workbook has the green title. So between now and Thursday, you want to work on lesson 1, unit 1, and try each of those problems. And you'll see some of these problems are more challenging than the ones we did in class. That's how the workbook is. The workbook questions are a little bit more challenging, and there are more questions to choose from. Remember, you can check your answers in the back. So on Thursday, if you have any questions from doing the problems, bring them on Thursday. Let's say you got on a question, you read the back, you realize, no, I still don't understand it. Just make sure you note that question, and on Thursday, we will touch on it. All right, so whole numbers, we're gonna just do it, we're gonna start a few minutes in the beginning, and then we're gonna get into how to add numbers, multiply numbers, and divide numbers using long division as well. All right?
Okay. Which one was that we need to do?
The workbook, Unit 1, Lesson 1 on whole numbers.
Workbook?
One.
Workbook.
Lesson 1 on workbook.
Yeah, Unit 1, Lesson 1 on the workbook. That's page 2 to page 5.
Got it. 2 to 5.
Now, one more thing before you go, and I understand if you have to run, I know we're 5 minutes over, but the more you practice, and I'm going to go over this a lot, the more you practice, the better your chances of doing well. The less you practice, the bigger your chance of not doing well. So if you go between now and Thursday and you don't practice, you can literally forget everything we've done. I'll show you a learning pyramid on Thursday to show you how the average person retains information. And you'll be shocked and amazed, and you will more than likely agree and remember situations where this learning pyramid is true. All right, so please remember to do that for Thursday. We pick up at 6 p.m. and we're going to go into how to divide numbers, multiply numbers, learning about long division and whatnot. All right, so it was great having you guys. And if you have any other questions, you can stay behind to ask them. If not, enjoy your evening with your families. Get a good rest.
Thank you, Mr. Ray.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Mr. Ray, quick question.
Yes, Jacob.
So we're gonna keep using the same link and the same code for the rest of our classes, right?
Yes, as long as nothing happens that distorts it, it will be the same link.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, and if you lose the link or anything, just send me a message on Remind and I'll just resend it.
Yes, sir.
All right, have a great day.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Evening, rather. Great night.
Bye.
That's you guys.
Bye.
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
No.
Yeah, I think I got confused on the question in number 6, because how did we go? How do I know I'm still like in question 5 and 4?
Okay,
I
so
think that's where I got confused, because I'm like, how did we go from that to that?
right. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it says it for you. Like if you look at number 8. Number 8 lets you know because there's a whole set of directions. That's normally how it would be written. For this one, they use context clues. So the context clues was the same Michael, and he's swimming an additional 2,500 yards, which means it's going to parallel from number 5.
Okay.
So normally, when you read a question, if you see the same name under the same conditions and like additional or what if he did this or what if she did this as well in the next question, it's drawing from the previous question.
Okay.
But most times on the test, they're very descriptive on the test. Most times they'll say, use this to do numbers 5 through 8.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I think that's where I
Book,
got confused.
sometimes, the books can sometimes have errors because there's average people writing the books, and a lot of times they don't have the same amount of people to proofread as the test has. The test has multiple people checking over the questions, making sure everything's smooth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So any other questions like that you could bring as well on Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah. If you don't have any other questions.
No, I think.
Okay. Anyone else has any questions?
You said on Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday at 6.
So it's gonna be Tuesday and Thursdays?
Well, is it? Is that what they tell you? Because on my side it says Tuesday and Thursday.
Yes.
It does say that. Okay. Yeah, originally it was Tuesday. So depending on when you signed up, it might have just said Tuesday. And then they changed it and sent me a notification that it was Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, you're correct. I'm sorry about that.
Okay,
yeah.
so
you're
all right.
right. Because I got another class on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So I was
sorry.
like, oh man, don't tell me I mixed it up.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Thank you.
All right, so.
Thank you for everything.
You're welcome, Carlos. See you Thursday. Leonore, see you as well.
Thanks.
It's Lenore, right?
Leonore.
Leonore. Okay, I had
Even
it
though
right
I
the first
prefer
time.
Nelly because I don't use my first name since I was a baby.
I'll call you. Yeah, I'm gonna get it. All right, and
Thank
Daniel,
you. Have a good night.
yes, you as well. You had a question, Daniel? Your mic's muted.
Oh, it's just saying good night.
Oh yes. All right. Have a great evening.
Have a good one.
Enjoy it. Yes, thanks. You as well. And Salvador?
I'm good. I think I missed a little bit of the beginning, not at the beginning, but how to communicate. But I have the app and do receive all your texts, so I think we're good.
Okay, I'll go over it again on Thursday as well.
See that the part where we're supposed to sign into our page and stuff like that. I always saw you're sharing the screen, and you went over and stuff like that, and I couldn't quite get it, but I do because I have it on my phone and I try to log in with my computer, and so I kind of had them both at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll figure it out, and I believe I do get all your texts and stuff like that. I think that's what you were referring as far as how to do or turn in the work.
Yeah, well, yeah, so everything will be done through that as well. But I'll go over it again. So as you go through it, like you just said you was going to just check over it. If you have any questions, write them down so you don't forget them. And on Thursday, just be ready to ask. Or you can send me a message, right? If you know how to use it. If you can't do that, send me an email.
Okay, I'm gonna try to do it and practice on my computer and also do the work here at the same time.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
That sounds great. I like the passion. Yeah. All right. And Sergio, welcome. I saw you come in. Could you hear me calling you? Your mic is not, you're not connected to your mic. So down on the bottom, you should see a mute button, or on the top, depending on how you have it set up. While you're doing that, let me just check on George. George?
Yes?
It sounds like your mic is up and working now.
I'm getting you. Yeah, I'm getting you, sir.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, I'm getting you.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, and so George, did you have any questions?
For now, I don't think so. Maybe on Thursday I will go through that then to find out.
Okay.
Out.
So yeah, Thursday at 6, and you could use the same link to get there.
Okay.
All right, and do you have my email address and the logo for Remind?
Okay, let me just see. Initially, I have problem to enroll, but later on I got it.
Right.
The meeting password, the meeting ID 88645.
Let me show you what the meeting information is again. I don't remember it off my head, so I have to try to share that with you real quick, and you can confirm. And of course, I don't have any of them open, so hold on real fast. Where's the 2? All right, so let me just share my screen, and you can let me know if this is what you have. I mean, you were able to get on, so you did get it to work, but you definitely want to be able to get on easily next time. Okay. So is that what you had?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so as long as you use that with that link, the link is the easier one to use. So I could send that to you as well.
The meeting ID then with the passcode.
Yeah, so if you do the meeting ID, you have to log on and then put the meeting ID on. If you have the link, all you have to do is click it and it takes you right in. You don't even have to put a passcode.
Okay, let me take up the first one.
Now I could send the link to you, and what's your email address?
Ambe, I don't know.
Okay, so how were you able to find this link?
I just got it to my email.
Okay, so you got, all right, so I'll set, that's where you want to go to. Every time, go to your email and then just click on that link.
Okay.
But make sure you click on this one right here.
Okay.
You could click on either one. Either one will get you there. One of them, this one here, the one that I have highlighted, the first link, that takes you in without the password. If you click this link, it asks you to put in the information.
Okay.
So the first longer link, that's the one that will just bring you into the class. So make sure you just save that email and then use it every time you log on.
Okay, sir.
All right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll see you on Thursday. All right?
Okay.
Have a great evening.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Okay, bye.